All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I'd be back. The long intros are so people can gather. I know they take a little while, but it's also so you guys can take some deep breaths and get ready for what we're about to talk about. Okay, so let's get on with our report here. Here we are, April 6th, 2024. 2 days until the eclipse. All right, so let me turn that all the way down. Okay, so here we go. Not much activity going on right now on the sun that we can see here. You see this thing creeping off the top here? This looks to be a pretty big, long duration event coming off the top right about here. The very tail end right there. So, not much really little spits and sputters here and there, but not much to really focus on. You see here on the left approaching. Watch watch something pop up and approach and go inward right there. All right. So a little bit of different activity. We got this big old thing moving in there. So and then you see this flickering up at the top. So we're about to have an event there here in a minute up top up here. All right, you also see this little spire that had grown right here until that thing popped out of there. We also have this one growing right here. All right, so not a bunch of activity, but you see that thing going in as well. So, all right, let's get on over here to our solar ham. Thank you all for coming here tonight and some of your precious time with our precious family. There must be somebody else going live right now, too, because most of the people are not here. Whoops. Yeah. That's okay though. You can always watch it on replay. All right, so as we get here, look, our solar indices are way down here. We're way under the seafloor. In fact, we're at B range at 3.8 up here, okay, which is kind of a cautionary area. Like I said, these little boxes here in gray should be corresponding. This one should be yellow and that one should be red. We get down into A territory, that's not good. All right, that's just like as bad as, an X flare. So I believe that these two areas should be labeled correspondingly. And we're in that cautionary area in that B zone, having minor, we can't even have a C flare. We could barely squeeze out a C flare. That's how low the activity is on this side of the sun. Okay. We back out there a little bit and I saw something there. My screen is blurry. It's clear now. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that because no good if it's a blurry screen, huh? I cleaned up the lenses on my camera before the show because sometimes you get stuff stuck on there. Let me just X out of this because it's playing in the background. All right, get back over to here. All right, so you can see that very, very quiet on the sun right now, and our solar indices are way below the seafloor. Okay, that's a little cautionary, a little concerning. Our solar indices are at 123 right here, okay, which is pretty low. No geomagnetic storms expected. Let me zoom back out a little bit so we can use this better. There we go. All right, so 1% on your X flares, 5% on your M flares for right now. We're growing in sunspot count as we go here. All right. None of them are too dangerous or anything right now, but we are growing in count again. Over here at our KP index, you saw we had some energy coming right back here. It tapered off. We have a little pulse right there, but we did take on some energy here and then here. Okay, so we got a couple little bumps of energy that came in via the auroras. Let me back out of this, hit up our auroras. There we go. You can see that they're kind of weak right now. Let me kind of give it a proper coloration there. So you see the fading. So they're kind of weak right now, which is good. We don't need to be taking on any more energy right now. Okay, coronal hole stream currently moving past. That was all this activity right here was from the coronal hole stream. Let's get over here and open up our tracker or attack a tracker. All right, still showing this CME moving away from us. This looks to be a different one now, moving away, which is good. We don't need any more energy coming at us, but that indicates there's a lot of activity on the back side of the sun, and we're going to get into that tonight a little bit. All right, we're good on the tracker. That was of April 1st. All right, let's move on over here because this is what we want to get to real quick. Bang out some of this information and we can get to our spiritual report. All right, so the big far side sunspot, AR 3615, last seen in March, crackling with X flares, is now transiting the far side of the sun. The sunspot is so big, it's affecting the way the sun vibrates. Do you hear me? The sunspot is so big, it's affecting the way the sun vibrates. That's what I was talking about last night. All of these sunspots and stuff have been pulled to one side of the sun, leaving the other side very inactive and blank and very weak. All right? Now, let me finish this article and then we're going to pop these open. All right, so the sunspot is so big, it's affecting the way the sun vibrates. That means it's a resonance, allowing research to detect its seismic echo. Also, NASA's rover Perseverance can see the sunspot all the way from Mars. This large active region will return to the Earth side of the sun about a week from now. Okay? So, do you hear me? This big old badass sunspot is still alive, popping off on the backside of the sun. We saw that just a minute ago on the tracker. Okay? So, now, I want to take you all the way from Mars. All right. Let me pull back a little bit here. Well, no, I guess that was it. That was position. You can see this big AR 3615 right here. All right. It's still quite healthy and moving around. There's a bunch of sunspots on this backside. Something else to note are these little red ones and these purple little dots. The last time we saw these, they said it was a cosmic ray that hit it, a gamma ray burst. Remember? We discovered it was a gamma ray burst that made these little bright red spots on the backside of the sun, and now we got these two purple ones over here as well. So what's going on the backside of the sun? We got another one, red spot right there, another one right here, huge 3615. It's still that rash. A couple other ones, this 3 in a row. All right, and that's from Mars. So there's a lot of activity about to rotate into our strike zone in a week. All right, so we got a week of quiet here until things start popping off again. All right, now seismic echo, I don't need to see that. Now let's talk about this. This is the strange chill of the moon's shadow. 100-mile wide shaft of cool air is about to race through Earth's atmosphere faster than 1,500 miles per hour. It's the shadow of the moon created by Monday's total solar eclipse. This animation shows the progress of darkness across the United States. Okay? Now, I want you to think about this. This is going to be a 1,500 mile per hour, 100-mile wide shaft of cool air. When this races across, the tail, right behind it is going to be this thing of cool air in the shadow of it, all right? It won't be out in front of it. It'll be trailing behind the eclipse, will be a 100-mile wide shaft of cool air that's racing through the atmosphere faster than 1,500 miles an hour, all right? That is going to cause disruptions in the weather. Don't you think? Don't you think that in the middle of a bright sunny day when we're having convection going on, that a 100-mile wide shaft of cool air moving at 1,500 miles an hour might cause some effects on the weather? I want you to keep that in the back of your mind when we get to this weather report. This shadow effect is going to affect the weather. Do you understand why? It's a 100-mile wide shaft of cool air. It's going to drastically change the weather in the middle of the day right there, all of a sudden, with a 1,500 mile per hour up in the atmosphere. Okay? Going to have major effects on the weather. And I showed you yesterday how we have a storm chasing this shadow. Watch, you'll see. All right, solar eclipses make their own weather, starting with the temperature. How much the temperature falls depends on the humidity. Dry environments could see a drop of 8 to 14 degrees, less so if it's humid. Now, according to NASA, an eclipse in Zambia on June 21st of 2001 reduced the temperature by nearly 15 degrees. Okay, so you have a 15-degree drop 100 miles wide, moving at 1,500 miles an hour. That's going to cause disruptions in the weather. Okay. The reduction in temperature can make clouds disappear. Satellites observing eclipses from Earth orbit have detected many examples. A 10-year study just published in Nature found that cumulus clouds begin dissipating when a mere 15% of the sun is covered. In some cases, clouds didn't start to return until 50 minutes after maximum eclipse. So, an hour after maximum eclipse is when clouds started to return. So, in the tail of that cold air ripping through, it might clear the clouds for a minute so you can see I don't know if you want to see what's going to be up there. I think you've already seen what might appear during that eclipse. Anyways, so I want you to keep also in the back of your mind, 10-year study just published shows that cumulus clouds dissipate with a mere 15%, but an hour later, 50 minutes later, after maximum eclipse, they start to return. Okay? This could be good news for the eclipse chasers in Mexico and Texas, where widespread cloud cover is expected. The eclipse itself might help clear the sky. Stay tuned. All right? God will clear the sky if he wants it cleared. You don't want to see what's up there. Well, you already have seen what's up there. So guess what might be showing up when everybody's looking up? All right, let's get on over to the Schumann, shall we? All right, there you go, putting along. You can see, let me put it right there. Got a little weak in this zone, kind of came back to life. All of a sudden, a little grinding right here, not very intense, but we got very weak, then the grinding, and now we're going, see how it's starting to get vibrant there? Let me refresh and see if we can get a couple more bars, because it looked like something's about to start happening here pretty soon, just after this, in the next few hours here. So, a little indication that pressure's on the rise again, okay? Something happened. We had a little fall off. Ooh. All right, so right now we're pumping right along. We got some magnetic field strength again, but it looks like we're going into another one of these grinding events, which indicates that we have pressure down below. So, yes, the eclipse will also alter the magnetosphere. Yes, it can cause earthquakes. Are you guys figuring out what's going to happen here? It sure sounds like everybody's got the pieces to the puzzle here. Why does everyone show the eclipse going west to east? Because that's where the direction it's going. Actually, if I try to film the eclipse, we're only getting 40% coverage. We don't get the full eclipse where I'm at. But where I'm at, we'll have clear skies. So I have welder's goggles. I have all kinds of observatory equipment if I want to, but I'm so busy. I try to not look up because there's so much going on. I have to focus on my life. If I keep looking up, I will go insane. All right, so there is your Schumann for the day. You see that little weak gap right there? But came back to life, and we're seeing a little strength, but that's an indication that pressure is building down below. Now, let's get on over to the null school here. Good Lord, look at this. Do you see how this is coming right up to the coast, taking a 180, coming back, and then going in? It's also getting pressed down and squirting out underneath this. So, oh, you're getting 95%? That's good. All kinds of tricks. Poke a hole in a piece of paper, take another piece of paper. That's like the best way to view it. You don't have to squint and break your neck looking up. It looks the same. Anyways, here we go with our setup. I need to kind of back out of this a little bit just to show you there's no polar vortex really kind of going on right now. We're in transition season. We do have this small little rotation right here. And you can see that's like the remnants of our old polar vortex, but it's petered out. It's pretty much gone. There is a little intensity that has picked up here, but most of the energy now is focused down below as they go into their winter time. Okay, so look at their polar vortex. It's getting crazy down there as well. All right, but in the meantime, let's get back to the weather. March right through this. There's your transition zone. You see what it's doing? Right there, right there. Stay. Okay, so you can see our transition zones looping stuff into the middle southern part of California, Tijuana there. All right, there's your upper jet. That's where I had it before. Now, what I want you to notice here is how all this configuration coming back together, and you see this tight little spot right here, okay, and it's taken, let me kind of get a little bit more into where I want to get now. All right, now as we see all this hot cocktail getting kind of pinched off and then coming back together with another hot cocktail, then peeling off and going up around this almost like a derailleur on a bike, okay? So on a 10-speed. But this little vortex right here, I want you to watch that one. That's the upper jet stream. Let me put it right there so we can pop up the box. Okay, so upper jet, lower jet. Now, your weather. Your weather. That thing has an eye in it, a well-developed eye. Let me get you down to the surface here. It's still there at the surface, okay? I'll take you clear down to the surface. All right, we have, look at this well-structured eye in the middle of this storm. This storm, as we go up now in elevation, that's your lower jet. This thing is connected to the upper jet stream. The upper jet stream is controlling this big storm. This storm right here. This storm that's coming across the United States right now and is about to start marching into this region, okay? Already pop-ups they're watching today. There could be severe weather tomorrow, okay? But look at how organized this eye is. I took you all the way down to the surface. This is a little higher up where our weather really is. From here is where it rains down on you. But oops. Okay, so a very, very organized low pressure system right here, making that comma-shaped wall of storm. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind as well. I want to now come over to SO2. And we can take off the wind. Do you see how the wind, look at that, see how the wind's taking this gas incorporated it into the storm. Pretty crazy, huh? All right, let's get you all figured out here. So here we are, SO2, country divided right here, with a little curl cue coming off. All right. Still a lot of pressure going on. We saw that on the Schumann. We're seeing it here as well. Still pretty dark in this region right there. But let's go on over here and take a yeah, it's pretty organized, pretty concentrated here in this region. Look at this out here coming off of the water out here in the bay. They're getting some heavy concentrations right around, because this is a weak zone where the water and the land meet right around there. So you're getting a lot of SO2 coming out of that weak zone right there. Look at that patch right there. That's pretty healthy, big, dark, got black in it. All right. That is some pressure underneath China right there. There's another big organized patch that's black. All right, so pressure definitely below China now. And a lot of that footage that we saw in the opening was of the earthquake in China, not the one in Taiwan. China had a quake. It wasn't a big 7.4. I showed you on the report last night, but they're experiencing earthquakes now. Earthquakes are kind of on the rise. We'll see here in just a minute. Now let's come over here. Look at this region starting to get a lot of gas coming out of the ground right there. Pressure's on the rise in this area. Okay. Look up here at Europe. It's getting dark in this region as well. Let me get that out of there. Okay, look at this little patch right here off of Spain. See that? Okay. Oh, what we didn't do was the sandstorms. Let me just take one little peek at this one. Very organized, very concentrated, very dominant. These two are kind of coming back to life again. So pressure going on there. Let's get over here. Come here, you. All right. Again, a lot of pressure. I put the wind on. You'll see the wind's probably taking a lot of this gas offshore. Let me put it right there. Yep, sure enough. So all of this SO2 was emitting from this island. We have an increase of pressure. This area has been our relief valve for a while. Not as dark because the wind's a little bit, and it has relieved some of the pressure. Look at this spot down in Africa. Tell me that one's not a big old plume right there. You see the winds grabbing it and taking it along. All right, we're back. So here we go with that big old plume right there. All right, now what I wanted to do is I was going to take you back to the ocean currents. This. Take that off. There we go. Okay, over here we still have this area, hot water off the coast in between Taiwan and China. That's where all the pressure was in China. We saw earthquake activity at the fulcrum point right here at Taiwan. What I'm concerned about is the other side of Taiwan where all this hot water is. All right, that's an indicator of pressure or magma close to the surface right there. Okay, pressure has pushed magma close to the surface, heating the water from the floor, the ocean floor there. Okay, that's causing this heat anomaly. Same with this big one off of Japan. Okay, the dust storm. That's what it was. Thank you, Lord. Particulates. The dust storm. Trying to get me off my game here. Now look at this. Now look how this dust storm has taken sand all the way across Spain, France, Europe, up into Norway, Sweden, all the way up into this area now again. So if you look here, we also have a big sandstorm going on in the Gobi Desert right there. So we 2 sandstorms. This one's kind of tapered off around there. Okay, but you can see how these wind currents have taken this now and pulled it up from Africa up into northern Europe and even up into Norway and in Sweden. Okay, still split off and dumping sand over here as well on South America. So the semi-intense and then the intense plume. All right, and look at, if we back out, look how this sand is affecting all of that region. Let me take the wind off real quick here so we don't twist your melon too bad. All right, so look how this sand has even made its way down here. See that? All the way over to here. It even gets mixed in these storms that come across the Pacific. See, light little traces of sand showing up on the west coast here, and even down in Mexico. Let me get that just right. I guess that's about as good. Okay. Even down in this region, okay? So, pretty crazy. 4-month-long sandstorm all winter long, and nobody reports on it. Nobody says anything. Well, I will continue to bring this because it's important. And it's important you guys understand what's going on. And a couple of channels now showed you some nasty sandstorms coming in from some of these countries. So it's not like this is just a color on a instrument that could be fake. No, we're seeing these same results on the ground. So let's move on. Now back to where I was, the ocean anomalies. Now around the equator and the tropical zones, we're going to see heat anomalies, all right? These guys are going into winter down there. If this doesn't dissipate, then that's from down below. It's looking very, very sus. There's a lot of, there's been earthquake activity along New Zealand and stuff here, just off the coast. This is a plate boundary going right through there. Okay, so where else did I want to talk about? That was about it, actually. It was just these 2 places mainly I'm concerned about right now, is off the coast of Japan and here around Taiwan, China area. All right, so let's get over the earthquakes now and see what's going on. All right, a lot of activity today. Maybe smaller magnitude, but a lot of activity. So let's start off here. 4.6 down at 240. 4.4 down at 559. Here's your deep quake right here. A sub-deep quake, semi-deep. Let's check out New Zealand real quick here. I think there was more than one here. 4.3 at the surface there. No, I guess there was just one. All right, so mid-range 4 deep here, mid-range 4 there. We go into the system here, bingo, with a 5.0 at the surface. Let me kind of get this a tad bit better for you guys. All right, big old gap in this area. We did see a quake here the other day, but that was pretty rare. So 5 there at the surface. We come on over to here. We got a 4.2 down at 198. But another 5 here at the surface, 5.1. Another 5 at the surface, right there. 4.3 down at 138. There. Now creeping up the system here to just south of our weak spot off of this island. Thank you. 4.4 here in the Philippines. On this side, we had a 4.8 down at 37. And now let's get into Taiwan's activity today. Get that out the way. I want you to remember, right in between this channel is that plume of hot water. All right, there's volcanic activity in this zone right here, right where this red, can we get it on that one? Yeah, there you go. This red plate boundary line runs through this massive city. All right, there's tons of people all along this whole coastline. Right on, right there is where we get the boundary. All right, so there's the red plate boundary line running right through there. And on the back side of the island, we're having the massive earthquakes and stuff. So, very volatile region, starting with the 5.2 here at a depth of 28, a 4.1 at 10, a 4.9, that's a 5 at a depth of 18. So, 5.2 and a 5. A 4.2 here, 4.6 there, and a 4.8 up here. Okay, so we still have a weak spot right here where energy is, coming to the surface and causing quake activity. It's still ongoing. It's at our fulcrum point. You see the way this thing thrusts and points up like that? The way these things made a V shape at the very beginning just tells me that it's a total fulcrum point quake eruption point, weak point in the crust now. Surprise, there's nothing off of Japan right here, but just north of it is a 4.4 up in the islands, Kuril Islands. We'll get over to that later. Let's come on over here. Nothing here at the fulcrum point, nothing on this whole plate boundary. A lot of volcano activity going on in that region. This is where we had the quake yesterday in China. We'll see what happens here in the coming days. We might see more activity there. But over here at our fulcrum point here, India is a 4.3. They usually have 2. Can I have this other one, please? Another 4.3 right there. And then just a little further north is 4.1. Now, you can see how all this energy shoves up this way like an arrow, right? At the tip of that pressure, you see all these mountains squeezed together. You see pressure ridges. All right. And finally, one last one out at the end of this bubble. See this big bubble type structure? Right at the very fulcrum point of that bubble is that quake. So that's a fulcrum point quake, I consider. And when we look at this thing, this plate boundary, this one has multiple small ones. It's one big fulcrum point in itself with little tiny ones. One there, one there. This one's a little bigger. See right there. There's a sub one right there. And the other little ones coming off there. All right, so a lot of pressure pushes up through this region, splits up into little different, fulcrum points, but the main thrust of energy made this bulge here, and right at the tip is your fulcrum point quake up there. Okay, very quiet in this region, and for good reason. Oh, that's what I meant to pull up. Let me do that. Your volcano. So let me write that down right now before I forget. I got so much going through my mind. If you guys could hear cries and screams for help while you're trying to cook dinner and pleas for mercy, oh my God, it would drive you nuts. I was trying to get to, the Etna, yeah. Hang on just a second. Okay. All right, now back to where I was. So, very quiet in this region. We've had some activity at Mount Etna that we're going to talk about here real quick. Also, Recahenus is still active, so the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is pretty quiet. Look how quiet South America is. So, I expect to see maybe mid-range 4, 5 around the fulcrum point here. We did see plate boundary out here, 5 energy. This is almost a fulcrum point type boundary quake. It's on the plate boundary, but you can see the structure, how energy has pushed this out. Well, it causes stress along this fracture out in front of it, and bing. So pressure from this fulcrum point has caused a plate boundary quake. And that's a 5 at the surface. That's your energy being relieved at the surface right there. Perfect textbook case. And maybe that's why we didn't see anything in this region, because we had this direct pressure energy release right there. Now let's get on over to the volcano report here, and already set up for the 7th here. Let's sacrifice that one for, what is it? Oh my Lord, World of Signs. There it is, World of Signs, and it was where, Lord? Please help me. Oh, thank you. All right. This set of pictures right here. Whoops. I don't want to go there. I want to go here. So, come back here, you. All right. This set of pictures right here. You see these smoke rings coming out of Mount Etna? Look at this one. Look at this image right here. I want you to sit there and count for a second how many smoke rings you see coming out of Mount Etna there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 2 separate ones right there. There's 10 smoke rings. All because of a thrust of pressure underneath Mount Etna. All right, instead of an explosion, a burp of gas came up from down below and poof, came out of a bunch of perforations, not at the same time, but, around the same time frame, causing all these individual smoke rings. These are all SO2 smoke rings. And if you know how there's a little toy that sends a smoke ring across the room. You pull a little plunger back. It's a big round cylinder. And when you release the plunger, the bottom part of the thing pushes forward and it sends a circular vortex of air across the room. And you can knock stuff over across the room with this circular vortex of air. Well, it's the same thing when it comes out of the ground. It causes SO2 smoke rings, okay? And this is an indication of that pressure down under Mount Etna. Look at these things. They're beautiful. You need to come over here. This is World of Signs, okay? Come over there, give them some love, and check out these beautiful images. They do a good job over at this channel. This community page has so many awesome shots. So come over here, go through their community page. But I just need to show you all these smoke rings coming out of Mount Etna because we're having volcanic activity because of the pressure down below. Now, I need to get that before I forgot it. Now, Recahenus, volcano, Sangay, Luitolo, Sabancaya. Here we are back at Recahenus. Another significant change appeared at the eruption site over the past 48 hours. As we mentioned in the last update, the northern cinder cone has been showing the most lava infusion activity of the 2 cones. However, judging Sentinel satellite acquisition for today, the larger northern crater has become the one and only protagonist. Okay, good. So maybe a little lessening of activity there. Here we are at Luitolo, 6,000 feet. Sangay, no report. Sabancaya, no report. So that was basically useless. Let's get on over to the 6th here. Okay. Santa Guido, Fuego, Semaru, Ibu, Marapi, Poas, and Luitobi. So Ibu had one to 12,000 feet today. Luitobi had one to 6,000 feet today. East Java, Semaru, 15,000 again. All right. Its record was 14. Now, 3 days in a row, we have eruptions at 15,000 feet out of Java. Marapi, probably the same. Didn't say. All right, Fernandina, we still have the lava running down the fissure, the flanks of that. Santa Guido, nothing. Fuego, 15,000 feet. Here's Poas again on continuing to emit ash. Sabancaya, 24,000 feet. So not much of a report there, but a good indication right here. There's still a lot of pressure down below when we're seeing blasts at 24,000 feet. And whoa, 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 whoa. Stay right there. Come on, guys. When we're seeing activity like this coming out of Mount Etna, that is a clear indication of a wave of pressure that has made it to the underside of the crust and it pushed up through the perforations. Instead of having a big volcanic explosion, maybe the magma chamber is clogged. Maybe some magma came up through it and cooled and sealed it off. And now, when a burp of pressure comes up from down below, it all comes out all the little holes in the surrounding area. And that's a perfect textbook case of what I've been talking about. When I saw this image, I was just like, yeah, that is what also to expect. This is a clear case of the pressure down below. Oh, Gabe, we will help you with that. I haven't figured that too. It's okay. All right, so let me just kind of bing. All right, so volcano report. Watch out for Etna. Okay. Some people, you don't need to be outgoing to, well, we'll get to that. Let's get this started. We can talk about that stuff. Oh, good. You fell asleep during the reading last night? Good. I want that to happen. My voice should be soothing. You should be able to fall asleep to my voice. Not that what I'm reading is boring or whatever, so don't feel bad. I purposely will pick out some different channels that I like just for that reason. I already heard their report earlier today, but I want to hear the soothing part of their voice to fall asleep to. So I get it. I get it, and I'm not offended. In fact, I'm take it as a compliment. All right? So, because I'm different like that. I'm not your normal dude. All right, let's get through this. Sorry, I gotta have to open another soda here. Better than a beer, dude. I used to be an alcoholic. Oh my gosh. We could talk about that stuff another day, too. Oh, good, 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 good. I fell asleep, too. Good. It's working. You fall asleep to this part, huh? All right, here we go. This is our opening frame. This is the storm that I was showing you on the null school, okay? This is that tightly wrapped low with an eye in it, all right? That's being produced from the upper jet stream, okay? Got a lot of wind in it. So there's your current conditions, nighttime of the 6th, morning of the 7th, noontime, convection, and the nighttime. All right, I don't think they've really updated this because a lot of the storm chasers are very concerned that maybe tomorrow there might be something going on around convection right in here, okay? So good. I think you guys should be sleeping good. You should be having good dreams. A lot of people are having nightmares, and you should be having good dreams. Anyways, back to this. I'm enjoying this, you guys. Oh, you guys are so funny. Okay, so our perfect comma shape looking storm right here. Don't let this fool you. This has potential to still be dangerous tomorrow. There's the nighttime of the 7th, morning of the 8th. All right, morning of the 8th right there. Noontime. This is right around when the eclipse happens, right then. Now, from then on, now think an hour after the eclipse, we're going to see that cold air rushing across with the eclipse that's causing that effect right there. Now we're at the nighttime of the 8th. So, since The clouds part, maybe the eclipse, you get to see it. The cold air rushes above 1,500 miles an hour, cools all that air down at the ground as well, changes the structure of this storm. Now you see warm, moist air coming up. And what was this? A cool wind that went through there with moist air, causing convection in the tail of it at nighttime. Now, if we're having a bunch of people from other countries that have no idea where the hell they're going in this melee at nighttime, when the sun finally goes down and you're having convection in tornadoes chasing you out of town, right up the alley. Okay, that will be the morning time of the 9th right there. And this might shift in location. Okay, but it's probably going to be along that corridor of cold air that just went ripping through there. Okay, all these this air mass and this air mass are going to follow that convection or that little jet of wind that went through there. There's your convection. No, the morning of the 9th, and we're talking Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. Now, this is the morning time. We hit noontime right there. I believe we're going to see a lot more convection than that. There's the nighttime of the 9th. Morning of the, that's the convection of the 9th right there. All right, so spotty pop-up stuff back behind it here. The turbulence in the wake of that shadow moving across that cold shaft, that 100-mile wide shaft of cold air moving through there, the turbulence is going to cause a little disruption in the wake of it, and you're seeing these little pop-ups follow through the wake here. Okay, so severe weather going to follow that, and there's going to be a lot of people trying to get out of there at the same time while getting chased by severe weather. That'll be the nighttime of the 9th, morning of the 10th. Now there's the noontime of the 10th right there. Again, here at Mississippi, Alabama. This event right here is no joke. All right. Pay attention, you guys, at this time of day in this region. It could be a little further north. It could be a little further south, east, or west. But this time of day in that region, and I'm going to repeat the time one more time for you. This is the noontime of the 10th. The whole day of the 10th is going to be a dangerous day. Starting from the nighttime of the 9th, boom, morning of the 10th, noon, convection. Look at that convection right there. That is gnarly. The nighttime, so we're going to have 3 different bands. Back up one. We're going to have 3 different bands of severe weather during the nighttime of April 10th. That's going to get gnarly right there. Illinois, Indiana, Alabama, or Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky region. Down here in the Gulf Coast, panhandle of Florida. Look at that right there. That'll be the morning of the 11th. This thing is gathering strength, wrapping up, turning into a 988 or 68? 985, so that was an 88. But back here, we have 3 different bands. Again, very intense here. Little pop-ups are likely in this area. And then on the backside rotation here, severe weather up there. Don't let that catch you off guard too. Everybody looking down here, don't forget severe weather can wrap around the backside and catch people off guard, especially in the morning time there of the 11th. Noontime, convection, nighttime of the 11th, morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 13th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 14th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 15th, back up. So right here from the noon of the 14th through convection of the 14th into the nighttime of the 14th, way up here in Montana, North Carolina, North Dakota. So watch out up there. So this will be the morning of the 15th, noontime, See how this tail's picking up moisture down here. The noontime of the 15th, there's severe convection right there. Again, with Mississippi, Alabama there. The convection of the 15th, nighttime the 15th right here. Even though this is all shattered and falling apart, this tail still has a lot of strength in it. Nighttime of the 15th, morning of the 16th, morning, noon, convection. It kind of jumps back to this region again. That's the convection of the 16th. The nighttime, again with this region. The morning of the 17th, as if Mississippi hasn't had it bad enough by this point. Now we're looking at the morning of the 17th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 18th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 20th. Look at that, 4:20, it'll be clear. Noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 21st, noon, convection, nighttime. The rest of that is all pretty much clear. So it's this big bad boy that moves through here is no joke. A couple of them. That one right there, that low pressure, and then this one. All right, that's your current conditions. We still have this very deep low right here. And by the morning, it might dissipate, but at noontime, I expect to see probably some convection going on. And then by the end of convection, this could be a nice QLCS right in this region here. All right. I pray I'm wrong. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully it stays like this. That'll still have some wind, still lots of rain and stuff like that. So that's one to watch on from here on out to about on the morning of the 8th. Then we have on the 8th, after the eclipse, that event, moving right up through that region. See how it's following that shadow? Okay. Eclipse goes over, and that wind picks up all that moisture right there in the tail of it and starts sucking it right up that zone. And then you see the convection following behind it in that same zone. That's going to be a gnarly storm right there. Everybody hold on. Get prepared. You know, when you see these tight millibars, that's high winds. I mean, a lot of people don't even have power yet, and just when they're going to get power back, it's going to get knocked out again. So even if April 8th, we don't see a big eclipse thing, it'll be the event that follows it that'll probably be what's so noteworthy. All right, so that's it for the forecast, all that great stuff. Let's start getting some of these instruments down. I'll leave that one up. Take that one down, that one. Yeah, so right here, just real quick, back to this one. The this path right here, again, just real quick, 100-mile wide shaft of cool air is about to race through the Earth's atmosphere faster than 1,500 miles an hour. All right, it's going to affect the weather. All right, that storm is going to have a little whiplash effect from the trail of that jet of wind. There's going to be a whiplash effect that follows along with it. Okay. All right, let's get on to the spiritual report. And let's do a couple of cool little videos in the meantime. Where are we here? I'll pull up that one for a second. Yeah. This is the birth pains. Okay, the Revelation 12 baby being born. You can see our woman here on her back, that's her eyes and her mouth, the sun coming out, and every time it kind of pops out, you see her mouth open and she screams in labor pains. You got the midwife here that looks like some character out of Rugrats. All right, don't ask me why. This is just what I'm capturing. Okay, but that's the Revelation 12 birth pains. Captured in the clouds right around the time it was supposed to be going on. So more signs captured during this time frame that I've been going through. Also, one of the other things we should look at here too. So, I believe last night I showed you the angel hovering over the sleeping child. Here we have two more sleeping children on the same couch, this time my children. Okay, they went down to the garage to go play with their new toy. They said, Dad, I'm going to be up all night. I said, okay, I'll come down in a little while, check on you guys. And it got real quiet. So I thought, uh-oh, something going on down there. So I went down there. They're knocked out. I thought, what the heck's going on here? But it wasn't until the next day I thought, oh, wait a second. I've been capturing the angels over this couch around sleeping children. My kids were asleep at a weird hour for some weird reason. I have a feeling something weird may have happened. Now, the reason you see this picture twisting and contorting is because there's angels right here. There's one right here. You see his wing coming up, coming down. Another wing coming up, coming down. There's two of them. There's another one back here in the background. There's two angels on their knees, locked wing and wing, bowing. Okay. They knew I was trying to capture angels on this camera, so they appeared on this camera and they're bowing. It's kind of more easy to see in your peripheral vision. So don't stare straight at it. Kind of look right here underneath this little board. If you stare at that spot, you'll see the head of this angel rise up and you'll see the inside of his wings. And what you need to do is a lot of this you see in your periphery. The moment you try to look straight at it, there's a blind spot in your optic nerve that kind of makes it hard to see it. So a lot of this stuff is in your peripheral vision because you have an optic nerve on the backside of your eyeball that's a blind spot right in the middle of your field of view. Okay? So hopefully you're seeing those angels right there. Bowing. Oh, we needed to pull up that too. Okay, so we got that one. Wow, that probably would have scared me. It's a little unnerving. Some of this stuff is, when you understand its placement and how it works, then it's not so unnerving. But at first, I was like, oh boy. And nobody believed me. That's what the hardest part was. So I had all this stuff happening to me and nobody believed me. Then it got really complicated because then I went to jail and into institutions and all kinds of great stuff. All because nobody would come over and look at security camera footage. And what else we need to pull up here? What's that one? Yes. Okay, how are we going to do it? We'll do it this way. Yeah. So, what I wanted to talk, oh, come on, you Star Trek and your ads. You're not going to make it there until you believe in the Lord. All right, there we go. Let's get that pulled back up here, please, Lord. There we go. Pause it right there. Semi full screen. Get rid of that, whatever it was. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Without that. So many things we have to do just to get this image. All right, so we got that one pulled up. Oh, you want the other one too? Okay, so here, bear with me real quick. I'm going to try to help explain some stuff here on Facebook. Nope, wrong one, backwards. Breathe. Video. Want the video. Okay, we're going to listen to this, guys. I want you to hear his words, too, not just the video. what his testimony is. The fact that he went out and bought a camera. The authenticity in his voice and what he's filming next to the moon.
So this video is coming in from Antonio.
Yeah.
Right there.
28, 29, 28, 29th, I have got me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing
in the sky
now. It's very ominous. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face.
What is that?
Looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture on the moon.
Okay, so we got the better picture right here. This one right there. Okay, so that face is out by the moon. Now, what happens during an eclipse? Think about this. The moon covers up the sun, making it dark, like nighttime, much like nighttime here. You're not going to see the moon, but the sun will be illuminating what's next to the moon. Oh, starting to see where I'm going with this? The sun, even though the moon's covering it, will turn at nighttime, so the sky will be dark, but the sun will still be there to illuminate what's next to the moon. Maybe that's why there's cloudy days on, or a cloudy day on that day. Because if you looked up during an eclipse, expecting to see an eclipse, and you saw a giant face looking down at you like that, what do you think's going to happen to the world when they see a giant face looking down at them on the eclipse day? Because the sun will be darkened, so the sky will be dark. Like in this instance, so what you need, the sky to be dark, and then you need something to illuminate what's next to the moon. The sun will be doing that, illuminating what's next to the moon. And if you remember, this guy says, I've been capturing this in the sky for a while. Not in the clouds, in the sky. That's why it's important to listen to his wordage. Back here at this video, one more time. It's very important to listen to his words, because this is a testimony. This is a very vital testimony.
I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now.
Been catching it for a while.
Ominous. There he is.
If you've been catching it for a while, it wouldn't be in the clouds. It would be a one-time freak thing that you see. It wouldn't be catching it all the time.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is. There he is.
There he is. Okay, there he is. And that's my face in the sky. You know what's going to happen on that day? The world's going to freak. You're going to find out. You guys got a little lowdown on what's going on here. Now, you look at these angels. You see them bowing. Angels only bow to God. Okay? And they showed up on this camera to show that they were showing their loyalty and bowing to the camera that I set up to catch them, to capture this activity. You can't see it in one frame. It's not until all these frames are stacked on top of each other in a flip book that you see our eyes detect the motion. And once your eyes detect the motion, you can see that we have two angels there, locked wing and wing bowing, okay? Again, another example of the spiritual realm. Wrap your mind around the idea that this realm is real. See these wings? See these two angels bowing? I think I've given demonstrations. Everybody here can kind of see it already. So, just more stuff to comfort you. Okay? You see those kids falling asleep on that couch? That's you guys. I want you guys to be able to fall asleep to me reading to you. Okay? So, get all curled up. Take some deep breaths. Do your little well, not ceremony, but your little ceremony that you do at this point of the show. Some people like to go out to their car. Some people like to go out to the park. I know a bunch of you are just sitting right there at your desk at your computer. Some of you gals are curled up in bed. And I want to get to some of this is going to be some repeat stuff, but it'll still sound new. Last night we kind of left off here, but I kind of want to pick up here and repeat. In fact, let's get you guys right there. All right, there I am reading to you right now. So, find me in the midst of the maelstrom. Sometimes events whirl around you so quickly that they become a blur. Whisper my name in recognition that I am still with you. Without skipping a beat in the activities that occupy you, you find strength and peace through praying in my name. Later, when the happenings have run their course, you can talk with me more about it fully. So accept each day just as it comes to you. Do not waste your time and energy wishing for a different set of circumstances. Instead, trust me enough to yield to my design and purpose, and remember that nothing can separate you from my loving presence. You are mine. So, expect to encounter adversity in your life, remembering that you live in a deeply fallen world. Stop trying to find a way that circumvents your difficulties. The main problem with an easy life is that it masks your need for me. When you became a Christian, I infused my very life into you, empowering you to live on a supernatural plane by depending on me. That's the supernatural plane, is depending on me. You also are seeing indicators of the supernatural plane. Anybody else on YouTube have this stuff? Can anybody show you or explain like I do? No, they can't. So, anticipate. This is the important part. This is the part I need you guys to hear. All right? So hold on tight. Take a deep breath. Anticipate coming face to face with impossibilities. Situations totally beyond your ability to handle. All right? Prepare, you guys. Get ready to come face to face with impossibilities. And these impossibilities come in the form of situations that are totally beyond your ability to handle. Not only can't you control them, your mind, you're not going to be able to handle them. The thought process that comes along with what you're seeing, it's going to be so intense, you're not going to be able to handle them. Well, not here at this channel. You will be able to handle them. So anticipate coming face to face with impossibilities, situations totally beyond your ability to handle. This awareness of your inadequacy is not something you should try to evade. It's precisely where I want you. It's the best place to encounter me. You guys get how that works? You won't encounter me if you're not aware of your inadequacy. You think you got it all covered. But when you're aware of your inadequacy, and it's not something you should try to evade, it's precisely where I want you, because it's the best place to encounter me in my glory and my power. So when you see armies of problems marching towards you, cry out to me. Allow me to fight for you, then watch me working on your behalf as you rest in the presence of the shadow of the Almighty. Okay? It's a little smoother again. Anticipate coming face to face with impossibilities, situations that are totally beyond your ability to handle. This awareness of your inadequacy is not something you should try to evade. It's precisely where I want you. It's the best place to encounter me in my glory. When you see armies of problems as well, when you see armies and armies of problems marching towards you, cry out to me. Allow me to fight for you. Watch me working on your behalf as you rest in the shadow of the Almighty presence. Okay? Have you guys, I know some of you guys are experiencing it, and that's why you're still here at this point, because you're like, wow, it's working. And you're going to be coming face to face with me soon, too. Yeah, we're going to get the hug. I continually call you to closeness with me. I know the depth and breadth of your need for me. I can read the emptiness of your thoughts when they wander away from me. I offer rest for your soul. I offer rest for your soul, as well as refreshment for your mind and body. As you increasingly find fulfillment in me, other pleasures become less important. Knowing me intimately is like having a private wellspring of joy within you. Isn't it? You guys have found that haven't you? Let me repeat that again. Knowing me intimately is like having a private wellspring of joy within yourself, within you. All of a sudden, this spring that flows freely from my throne of grace, so your joy is independent of your circumstances. Are you guys getting to the point where your joy is independent of your circumstances because you know me intimately and I have put that wellspring of joy within you now? I love you guys. You're picking up on this stuff, and I'm so happy for your progress. I am so happy for you. Okay? Now, waiting in my presence keeps you connected to me, aware of all that I offer you. If you feel any deficiency, you need to refocus your attention on me. This is how you trust me in the moments of your life. I am a God who heals, okay? That's what I do. I am a God who heals. I heal broken bodies. I heal broken minds. I heal broken hearts. I heal broken lives. How about broken relationships? I heal those too. I am a God who heals. I heal broken bodies, broken minds, broken hearts, broken lives, broken relationships. My very presence has immense healing powers. Just me sitting here talking to you has immense healing powers, doesn't it? You guys come here for that, to feel better. It has immense healing powers. Very, very immense healing powers. Look at some angels. Curl up there and go to sleep. Okay? My very presence has immense healing powers. You cannot live close to me without experiencing some degree of healing. Since you've been here at this channel, you have experienced some degree of healing. However, it is also true that you have not because you ask not. You receive the healing that flows naturally from my presence, whether you seek it or not, but there is more. much more available to those who ask. You receive the healings that flow naturally from my presence, whether you seek them or not, but there is more, much more. It's available to those who ask. The first step in receiving healing is to live ever so close to me. The benefits of this practice are too numerous to list. As you grow more and more intimate with me, I reveal my will to you more directly, more and more directly. Okay? So as you grow more and more intimately, I reveal my will more and more directly. When the time is right, I prompt you to ask for healing of some brokenness in you or in another person. So when the time is right, I prompt you to ask for healing of brokenness, whether it's in you or in another person. The healing may be instantaneous or it may be a process. That is up to me. Your part is to trust me. Do you hear me? The healing may be instantaneously or it may be a process. That's up to me. Your part is to trust me fully and to thank me for the restoration that has begun. Restoration has begun, you guys, inside of you. Whoops, where are we going? That one. Restoration. Come here. This one is happening inside of you. When you look at that and you listen to my voice, restoration is happening to you. That's because I am who I say I am, okay? The healing may be instantaneous or it may be a process, okay? Just recognize that some kind of restoration has begun, all right? That's all it takes. It's just one little recognition that restoration has begun. I rarely heal all the brokenness in a person's life, though. Even the servant Paul was told, my grace is sufficient for you, when he sought healing from the thorn in his flesh. Nonetheless, healing is available to those whose lives are intimately interwoven with mine. Ask and you will receive. Okay? Much healing is available to those whose lives are intimately woven with mine. Intimately interwoven with mine. Is that you guys? Would that be the same 20 people that are sitting here right now, that are sitting here every night when we do this? Yeah. Those are the ones whose lives are intimately interwoven with mine. You guys just ask and receive, and you will receive. It's healing. Ask for healing, and you will receive it for you or other people. It may not be instantaneous, but be thankful the process has begun. And the process has begun already. See this? Already. Too late. Already begun. Too late. Already begun. Already out there by the moon, sitting there for a while. This guy said for a while. He went and bought a new camera to go make sure he captured it properly for the world. Way to go, dude. Now, we got through the hard part of the homework there. So, now we get to do the fun stuff. Wait with me for a while. I have much to tell you. You are walking along the path I have chosen for you. It is both a privilege and a perilous way. Experiencing my glorious presence and heralding the reality to others. Sometimes you feel presumptuous to be carrying out such an assignment. But do not worry about what other people think of you. The work I am doing in you is hidden at first. Do not worry about what other people think of you. The work I am doing in you is hidden at first, but eventually it blossoms and will burst forth, and abundant fruit will be born. What will be born? Abundant fruit will be born? Did you guys just hear that part? Don't worry about what other people think of you. The work I am doing in you is hidden at first, but eventually blossoms and will burst forth with abundant fruit. So, stay on the path of life with me. Trust me wholeheartedly, letting my spirit fill you with joy and peace. And I'm talking every little crevice. Let me fill every little crevice with joy and peace. Trust me and don't be afraid. I want you to view trials as exercises designed to develop your trust. Whoa, did you guys grasp that? Trust me and don't be afraid. I want you to view your trials as exercises designed to develop your trust. This is the spiritual boot camp that I'm talking about. That's why I named this spiritual boot camp. I'm trying to train you guys almost like a drill instructor would train his troops to be prepared for, spiritual warfare, right? Okay. So trust me. Don't be afraid. View these trials as exercises designed. They are designed exercises to develop your trust. Because you live in the midst of a fierce spiritual battle, and fear is one of Satan's favorite weapons. When you start to feel afraid, affirm your trust in me. Speak out loud if circumstances permit. Resist the devil in my name, and he will slink away from you. Refresh yourself in my holy presence. Speak or sing praises to me, and my face will radiantly shine upon you. What? Speak or sing praises to me, and my face will shine radiantly upon you. The people here right now. That's you guys. I had other one. Well, where to go? Bear with me for a second. Yeah. Okay, so when the tasks before you look daunting, refuse to be intimidated. Discipline your thinking to view the challenge as a privilege rather than a burdensome duty. Okay? So when the task before you looks daunting, refuse to be intimidated. I said refuse to be intimidated. Discipline your thinking to view the challenge as a privilege. The challenge is a privilege rather than a burdensome duty. Make the effort to replace your I have to mentality with an I get to approach. You understand me? Instead of thinking, oh, I have to do this, oh, I have to do that, try thinking, I get to do that. I get to. This will make all the difference in your perspective, transforming drudgery into delight. It does what? It transforms drudgery into delight. How does that happen? By changing your mentality from an I have to an I get to. I get to do this. I have the privilege to serve the Lord. I get to do this. That transforms drudgery into delight. It's not a magic trick. The work still has to be done, but the change in your viewpoint can help you face the challenging chore joyfully and confidently. Okay? I have to into I get to. It will make a difference in your perspective, transforming drudgery into delight. It's not a magic trick. The work has to be done. But the change in your viewpoint, that's the part, the change in your viewpoint can help you face the challenging chore joyfully and confidently. All right. A little side note right there. When I went to work, hard worker, still am. I learned a long time ago, time flies when you're having fun. But boy, time sure lags when you're at work, huh? You keep looking at the clock, and God, it's only been 30 seconds since I last looked at the clock. Oh my God, this day's going to be forever. Well, the trick is to turn your work into fun. The moment your work becomes joyful or fun, well, time flies when you're having fun, right? Well, the next thing you know, work's over, and you're like, wait, I'm not ready to clock out yet. I was still talking with Tom here while we were stacking boxes. I'm not ready to go home yet. Your mentality just changed. You have a new perspective. All right? When you take arduous things and make them joyful, they're not arduous anymore. How can you make something arduous joyful? When you know you're doing it for the Lord, you're doing it for yourself. This is like almost kind of like a rehab type thing, where your hard work for me helps you in return. Okay? It gives you a sense of self-worth. It's not really to glorify me, it's to give you your meaningfulness, where your meaning is. Okay? That's the purpose of that. It's not an egotistical thing. Wish everybody'd get over that part. When the task before you looks daunting, I want you to refuse to be intimidated. Discipline your thinking to view challenges as privileges. Quit with the I have to and start with the I get to. It makes all the difference in your perspective. It transforms drudgery into delight. It's not a magic trick. The work still has to be done, but the change in your viewpoint, can help you face the challenging chore joyfully and confidently. So now, as you go about your work, perseverance is essential. If you start to grow weary or discouraged, remind yourself, I get to do this. If you start to grow weary and discouraged, remind yourself, I get to do this. Then thank me for giving you the ability and strength to do it, to do what needs to be done. I get to do this, even though it seems impossible. Just say, I get to do this. That's when I give you the ability and strength to do what needs to be done. Once we're done with that, you and me have just danced. Thankfulness clears your mind and draws you closer to me. Remember, my Spirit who lives in you is the helper. Ask the Holy Spirit to help you when you're perplexed. As you ponder problems and seek solutions, the Spirit will guide your mind. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as if working for me. When you do it with all your heart for me, all of a sudden your heart feels better. Because now it has purpose. Now you know what all that hard work is for something. It's not just so the government can rip it off and kill people with it for their hard-earned money. All that hard work, not your money, your hard work is going to pay off. When you work as if you're working for me, it does. It sure does. Try that thing at work next time. How do you have fun at work? Well, try whistling a tune. Call my name. Call Jesus and talk to a coworker. Do things that will try to lift your spirits when you're at work. When work becomes joy, then the time flies when you're having fun. So if work is taking a long time and you want it to go by faster, try having joy instead of dreading it. Now, another topic we need to get into here, and this is going to be hard for you guys to accept. So we're just going to do it. Everybody take a deep breath, grab your soda, grab your fortitude too. Okay, ladies, gentlemen. But when you do grab that, I want you to hold things with loose hands, but cling tightly and always to my hand. To be spiritually healthy, you must not be overly attached to your possessions. These are all blessings from me, so receive them with thankfulness. What is seriously poking me out of nowhere? Hang on just a second. Wow. Totally poking me out of nowhere, huh? Oh, damn, thanks. What are you poking me for? What? This is the right one. Yes, we did that one. Oh, never mind. Okay, back to where I was. I'm sorry. I'm having a little issues over here. Back to holding on to things now. This is important. Hold things with loose hands, but cling tightly to mine. To be spiritually healthy, you must not be overly attached to your possessions. Ow! What the? Poke me again. I guess I'm have a problem with that. I try not to be attached to any of my possessions. I don't know when they're poking me. All right. Hold things with loose hands, but cling tightly to mine. To be spiritually healthy, you must not be overly attached to your possessions. These are all blessings from me, so receive them with thankfulness. But don't forget that ultimately I am the owner of everything. It's also important to hold people with open hands. Cherish your family and friends, yet beware of making them idols. If your life revolves around someone other than me, you need to repent, changing your ways. Return to me, beloved. Make me your first love, seeking to please me above all else. Another thing to hold loosely is control over your circumstances. I know it's so hard. It sounds easy, but it is hard. Another thing to hold loosely is control over your circumstances. When your life is flowing smoothly, it's easy to feel as if you're in control. Enjoy these peaceful times, but don't cling to them or think that they are the norm. Instead, cling tightly to my hand in good times, in hard times, at all times. Good times are better and hardship is more bearable when you're trustingly depending on me. My abiding presence is your portion forever. So, holding on to possessions and people. I know it's hard, but if your life revolves around someone other than me, you need to repent. Cherish your family and friends, but beware of making them idols. Where was it? To be spiritually healthy, you cannot be overly attached to your possessions. Except for me, that's the one thing. Hey, be overly attached to that. That's one good thing right there. Okay, just kind of showing you the spiritual realm is real, man. That's why you're here. You want to learn more? Let's excuse me, pop open one more image here, because this one always has to be part of it. Oh, and then we got other stuff going on. The gal that's doing all the research on the star charts, the stellarium, has found another one. Just knock it out of the park. I really can't show it too much on here, but I will put the link to it in the description of this when we're done here. Right there. Actually, stick it down a little notch right there. All right, so back to where I was. Yeah. Hold loosely people and possessions. When your life is flowing smoothly, it's easy to feel like you're in control. But don't cling to those times like they're normal. Instead, cling to my hand in good times, hard times, at all times. Times are better and hardship is more bearable. Hear that? Hardship is more bearable when you're trustingly depending on me. So don't be afraid to tell me how weak and weary, even overwhelmed you feel at times, okay? Don't be afraid to tell me how weak and weary, even overwhelmed you feel. I am fully aware of the depth and breadth of your difficulties. Nothing is hidden from me. Although I know everything, I wait to hear from you. Do you hear me? I want you to hear me loud and clear. See me, hear me. I already know everything. I wait to hear from you. Pour out your heart to me. I am your refuge. There can be a peaceful intimacy in sharing your struggles with me. You let down your guard and your pretense. You get real with me, and you start to get real with yourself. That's when you rest in the safety of my presence, trusting that I understand you perfectly and I love you. I understand you perfectly and I love you with an everlasting love. Relax deeply with me. Release yourself from striving to perform. Take a deep breath, a couple of them right now. Relax deeply with me. Release yourself from striving to perform. Be still, letting my presence refresh and renew you. When you're ready, ask me to show you the way forward. Remember that I've never leave your side. I am holding you by your right hand right now. This gives you courage and confidence to continue your journey, doesn't it? When you relax deeply with me, it releases you release yourself from striving to perform. You become still. You be still, letting my presence refresh and renew you. And when you're ready, ask me to show you the way forward. Remember, I never leave your side. I am holding you by your right hand right now, which gives you courage and confidence to continue your journey. So as you go along your path, hear me saying, do not fear, I will help you. As you go along your path, hear me saying, do not fear, I will help you. Do not fear. Not to fear. Jesus is near. I will help you. Don't be afraid to tell me how weak, weary, and overwhelmed you feel. The moment you let that off your chest, to me, I know how you feel, but it makes you feel better once you get it off your chest. Oh, Sean's getting it. All right. It's a hard sell, but try it, dude. Wait until you try it and you see results. It won't be a hard sell then. You will be like, oh, it's working. I get it. I'm trying to help you guys with, the mental illness that this whole world has. Okay, the entire society, brainwashed, manipulated, has a warped sense of reality, and I'm here trying to clean up the mess. What else did I have for you? Oh, yes, I had this, dear gal. Where is this? Yeah, that one right there. So we're going to come over here. Oh,
Imagine
after this
if you could
ad.
purge all toxins during sleep. This idea prompted the doctor to investigate the souls of
the end of chapter 14 here.
Okay. This channel is called Truth, Love, Light. This gal is wonderful. She is such an angel. And all of her hard work, she takes stellarium and applies real Bible prophecy, real verses out of the book of Revelation. And this is the latest one that she discovered was the menorah with the 313 on March 13th. All right, the planets lining up. You know the planets are going to line up on the during the eclipse too. All right, these are all signs in the heavens. God works on a stellar clock, on a stellar calendar, not on man's Gregorian calendar. And what she has discovered is another wonderful thing. Signs 7, 14, and 15. Her explanation is quite a long one, talking about the waters of Aquarius here, how all of these have passed through the waters of Aquarius, like it stated it would in the Bible. And this latest little revelation that she has here, you got to come over and check it out. I'm going to put this link to her channel and come over here, give her a like I do, like that. All right. She does a lot of hard work. She's a very blessed individual, and I think you'll enjoy her latest discovery. And it's just more of the story, and you get to see how it's being all spelled out in the stars, and then you'll understand that the story is in the stars, and that the sun, moon, and stars are all about to do something here. On the 8th. So she's got some more vital details that just came out, and I'm not going to tell you what they are. You're going to have to come over here and watch her video to check it out. But I will put this link here to this video, or you can come over to her channel, Truth, Love, Light. Come over here. This is her latest work. Click on it and watch it. It's she's very, very, let's just say she does it the right way. She uses all Bible, all biblical stuff from the book of Revelations, how John spelled it out. She just knows how to read what he was saying. A lot of people read it and don't get it, but here she's very good at interpreting the Bible and how it actually applies to the stars, and the significance of Revelation 12 and how that all started this whole sequence of events. Okay, so very, very interesting revelation that she's found here, unlocked another key here, and you should come over and check this out. Like I said, this one's signs of Revelation 7, 14, and 15, and quite amazing what's really, really going on in the heavens. That just perfectly described in the Bible. And when you see it here, it really makes more sense and comes together and kind of puts a little more daylight on April 8th and what to expect maybe then. So imagine, where are we here again? The sun eclipse, or the moon eclipses the sun. Oh, come on now. Bring me this thing back here. Come on now. I had this all pulled up already. You saw that. So when the sun eclipses, or the moon eclipses the sun, and there's an object next to the moon, come on, play this. What is your problem?
Might tell us that this is, an
elaborate hoax. Yeah, that's pretty elaborate, putting a huge face out by the moon. I would say that's a bigger achievement than landing on the moon. Oh, wait. Have we even done that yet? So, how are they going to put a big hoax? And this guy's been filming it for a while now. Went and bought a better camera to get a better, clear shot so we could all see clearly there is a giant face out by the moon. Now, when the moon eclipses the sun and the day turns to darkness, that will make the moon, or make whatever's next to the moon, glow. The sun will be shining on it. So the moon will be eclipsing the sun, knocking out, the moon. You won't see the moon, but it'll sure highlight what's next to it, don't you think? Don't you think that could possibly happen, that we would see this object, this face, crystal clear during an eclipse? Maybe it's a good thing the clouds are covering it, because if you saw that and that face growled at you and spit lightning, that would really freak them out. In fact, let's give you an example of what I'm talking about here. This one we're going to take you.
If you've been in a car accident,
No.
don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what
Stop with your ad, dude.
Paycheck in less than 30 seconds.
Okay, all I was trying to do was get to this one and pull up something different. What was I trying to pull up? Now that I forgot it, thanks to all the freaking delay. Oh, thank you. That's where we're going. Mm-hmm. To this event that's already happened. Let's speed up the sound, or speed up the playback, because this is taking place in a different dimension. Okay, 2 times the speed. Giant face in the sky, spitting lightning, wearing a crown. Yeah, imagine this thunderstorms that are going to follow after the eclipse that are... Come here, forecast model, please. So frustrating. I just wanted to show you the tail end of that storm. When that eclipse follows through there and these storms fire up. Can we please have this instrument back? Never mind. So when that thing moves on out here, these huge thunderstorms that start moving through there could have giant faces in them that are spitting lightning. No telling what might happen after that event and then the storm that follows after it. Right there. That's the nighttime of April 8th. There's right before the eclipse, right after it, the nighttime of the 8th, morning of the 9th, noon, convection, morning of the 10th, or nighttime of the 9th, morning of the 10th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 11th. All right, enough of playing with that. Okay, so a lot of things going to go down on that day, and everybody's preparing for it. There you see all these agencies declaring states of emergency and all this stuff, everybody freaking out. Well, because a spiritual event might happen on that day. Okay, and when you go over to that little, to the Revelation 7, 14, and 15 video, you will see further confirmation of the time frame that we're in. Okay, as if we don't have enough confirmation of the time frame we're in, she got a couple more tidbits to top it off there. So when we're done with here, go on over there and you got something else to watch. Another lesson, some more stuff to learn about because you guys were curious, and that's good. That's what I'm looking for. People that are willing to learn, not a bunch of know-it-alls that are just a bunch of egomaniacs. Tired of all this ego and vibrato, and, rappers and blah, 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 but you can't. There we go. Be a role model for your followers. Come on now. There we go. All right, so I think, what else did I have for you too? I have one more reading, I think. Is that the one? Why? It's just so important for these guys to squeeze in ads, even when the frame was paused, right? I paused it here for a reason, so I could just flip back to it, not flip to an ad. Do you see the greed that goes on? It's just relentless greed. So bad that when I pick up my phone, the whole screen is a touch screen now. When you pick up your phone, it automatically turns it on and you've clicked on an ad. How did that happen? Let me get one last thing. Yeah, we'll close with this thing, I think, right here should work. I am the Lord of peace, the only source of genuine peace. I give you this gift not as something separate from myself, but as part of who I am. You cannot just grab this blessing on the run. You need to set aside time for focusing on me and enjoying my presence. You live in the midst of an intense spiritual warfare, and my peace is an essential part of your armor. To stay on your feet during the battles, you must wear sturdy combat boots, the gospel of peace. Those are your sturdy combat boots, is the gospel of peace. This good news assures you that I do love you and I am for you. Many of my followers forfeit peace because they think I am always scrutinizing them through critical eyes. I repeat, many of my followers forfeit their peace because they wrongly think I am always scrutinizing them through critical eyes. On the contrary, I gaze at you through eyes of perfect love. Instead of punishing yourself when you failed, remember that my death on the cross covers all your sins, all your failures, all your mistakes, all that. Instead of punishing yourself when you failed, remember that my death on the cross covers all your sins. I love you with unfailing love, simply because you're mine. I love you with unfailing love because you are mine. Rejoice in this gospel peace. It is yours. This gospel peace is yours to enjoy at all times and in every way. Amazing how it works, huh? Okay? Do not forfeit your peace because you think I'm scrutinizing you. On the contrary, I love you with perfect love. Don't punish yourself when you failed. Remember, my death covers your sins. That's how I can love you with unfailing love, because you're mine. Rejoice in that peace, knowing that it is yours to enjoy at all times and in every way. Okay? That's where you get to rejoice. This is yours at all times, every way. Be still in my presence and wait patiently for me to act. Spending quality time with me is so good for you. I rejoice when you push back the many things clamoring for your attention and you focus wholeheartedly on me. I know how hard it is for you to sit quietly with me, and I don't expect perfection from you. Instead, I treasure your persistence in seeking my face. My loving approval shines on you as you seek me with all your heart. This intimate connection between us helps you wait trustingly for me to act. Okay? Be still in my presence and wait patiently for me to act. Spending that quality time with me is good for you. I rejoice when you push back the things clamoring for your attention. I know how hard it is to sit quietly with me. I don't expect perfection, persistence. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence and continuing. Progress, not perfection. We want progress, not perfection. I treasure your persistence. My love shines on you as you seek me with all your heart. This is intimate connection between us helps you wait trustingly on me to act. Another thing here, don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. Don't worry about the evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. Trust that I'm still in control and that justice will ultimately prevail. We're kind of handing them some more rope, giving them more rope to hang themselves with, right? So don't worry about evil people who prosper and fret about their wicked schemes. Just sit back, relax, and trust I am still in control, and justice, I repeat, justice will ultimately prevail. I will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in my truth. Meanwhile, look for ways to advance my kingdom in this world. Keep your eyes on me as you go through each day and be willing to follow wherever I lead. Do not be overcome or discouraged by evil, but overcome evil with good. Do you hear me? Do not be overcome or discouraged by evil, but overcome that evil with good. Sounds easy, it's hard to do, but it can be done. It can be done. So don't be overcome or discouraged. Overcome evil with good. And be still in my presence. Rejoice. My loving approval shines on you when you seek me with all your heart. Wouldn't it be cool if somebody sought you out? How would you feel if you were sought out and somebody was seeking you? It would make you feel good. Now you understand how it works. If you put yourself in the reverse role, that's why you do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. It makes them feel needed and important. You reflecting me to others gives them purpose to their lives as well. You're doing the same job I'm doing to you. You're reflecting it onto others. You're just domino affecting me into other people. And go get them. Go get them. We will overcome evil with good. I love you all. I miss you all. What else we got here before I wrap this up? Oh boy. And, who's the notes again, Lord? Oh, the Etna rings. Yeah, we showed you that. All right, so I think that's about it for tonight. We're getting awfully close, you guys. So everybody, hold on tight. Hold on to my hand tightly. Take a deep breath. Relax. These trials are to make you strong. There's your strength, your foundation. You guys are charging along good. You're really doing much better than the rest of the world is. Everybody's having issues now, and it's showing. It's glaringly showing. All right. And if they had this knowledge that you guys have, if all these people struggling had this knowledge, don't you think we'd have a different society going on right now? You think we'd be killing each other, going to war right now? I don't think so. And that's why it's so important to have this knowledge. That's why my people die, my children die for lack of knowledge. They would stop all this stuff if they knew. And that's kind of, you guys got to get out there and reflect that too. All right. I know it's hard, but this is a race we're running. This is a test of character. Okay. And remember, you can still have joy in the midst of affliction. That when you know that you're qualifying, this is like qualifying for a race or something, you know. There's going to be some, some problems and bumps and along the way. It's how you handle those and overcome them. You're building spiritual achievements for the spiritual realm. Okay? And try to help as many people as you can by reflecting what I've showed you. Okay? And taught you. That's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back and I'm still coming. All right? I was, I am, and still to come. I was alive and dead. I'm alive again. Okay? I got all these notes here, wonderful spiritual teachings. This happens all around me wherever I go. And this crazy face next to the moon. Oh, here we go. Shouldn't have done that. Well, crazy face next to the moon is my face. It's a little unnerving, but expect to maybe see stuff like this might occur after our eclipse. Imagine millions of people trying to drive home to their destination with tornadoes chasing them and spiritual faces in the clouds spitting lightning at them. That could be interesting. So we're already seeing this activity, so it is possible. It could happen. All right, but you guys won't be affected. You have protection. a hedge of protection over you because you're mine and I love you. All right. So that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. I will be back. I am already back. And I am still coming like a lion. All right. Till my next show. Bye. I love you all. I'll be back.